Hey guys, I'm Alana, and today we're talking Far Cry 5, which I think is a ton of fun, but there is one thing I just really wish they'd done a little differently. For the first time in a while for the Far Cry franchise, Far Cry 5 has a completely silent protagonist, and in this game specifically, I think that's a serious weak point. That's weirdly enough, especially the case if you play as a female character. So regardless of if you pick a male or female character, other characters in Far Cry 5 will still pretty often refer to you colloquially as man or bro. Man, bro, dude, Girardi, bro! And while even I really commonly call both men and women dude, it stands out when those characters call you by those names, but will call other female characters by more feminine names.
Hey man, I'm sorry. I don't want to go on assuming nobody's gender or nothing. I just call all my homies dude or bro or man, you know, regardless of vegetalia or penileness.
There's even a scene where one character talks about how you should throw a party together and invite a bunch of hot chicks in a way that feels like this game was written with a male protagonist in mind.
We're just gonna slam back brews and rock it all the time, bro.
That even extends to some of the action at times too. A scene where your shirt is ripped apart to expose your chest, in theory, should get a different reaction based on, you know, if you have boobs or not. Instead, it feels like regardless of which gender you pick, they react as though you're a man. And I could almost say I prefer that. It'd be totally annoying to have the game constantly remind you that you're one or the other or treat you dramatically differently for it. But in the more extreme cases, it just feels unnatural. I could have sworn that sometimes characters even accidentally referred to me as him.
We're bringing him back to the wolf's den?
Leave him to die.
We need him.
Though that could just be me confusing the accent when they're saying them or something. But even when you compare it to a series like Mass Effect, where characters just call you Commander or Shepard, it often comes across as awkward. I guess I worry that in a strive to have more options at the end of development, rather than going into the game knowing there would be two options for a protagonist, Far Cry 5 ignored the context of its own writing, and I could be totally wrong there, that's just how it seems. Following that, I think it probably would have been a stronger game from top to bottom if the protagonist was actually a character, instead of being silent, or instead of it being meant to feel like it's you. Now, I don't dislike silent protagonists in general. I mean, Link is one of the most beloved protagonists in video games, but in this case, it's really just rather than having the story kind of occur naturally, spaced out by organic conversations, it's kind of shoved down your throat. It's most often delivered to you in this awkward loop where you're put in a situation where you can't move and characters just like spit monologues at you. You sit and listen, and your total lack of impact on conversations feels at odds with the huge impact you really are having on HUD county. It's honestly the total opposite of the way the gameplay functions. You have so much freedom in how you approach things in Far Cry, and yet absolutely none in dialogue. Especially for a game where you can choose a male or female character, why not allow dialogue options? What's the point in even having that choice initially if it doesn't really impact the game and you can't even see the character you're playing as? Of course, the character you choose in single player is the same one you use in multiplayer, but I don't see why they couldn't have approached that like GTA style, with a fleshed out protagonist and a separate character for online play. I don't know, I just can't help but feel that Far Cry specifically is a franchise that's probably better off developing a main character. Give them a story, give them a gender, don't have them be a silent protagonist. Or if you are going to, at least have dialogue options with a world that reacts to you according to the things you say and do, not just scripted events dumped on you over and over. This honestly kinda makes me miss Jason Brody.
We didn't have a care in the world.
But seriously, I reiterate, I do think Far Cry 5 is a really great game that's a ton of fun and a great open world to mess around in, and it's totally worth playing regardless of the awkward protagonist situation. I just see obvious room for improvement here. I would love to know what you guys think though. Would you prefer if Far Cry 5 had a voice protagonist? Or is having options to play as a male and female character more important to you? For more videos like this one, check out our feature on how publishers don't realize microtransactions are hurting them too. I'm Alana, and I'll see you guys next time.